So we also have a third question, which is failure. Failure can be an opportunity to learn and grow. Sometimes we make mistakes and we get better and we learn, right? So, like you, I probably made a million mistakes, so I've learned most of them. Not every one, but most. Some I repeat. Could you share some lessons you learned from your failures?
Oh my God, I've got three key ones, and I'm glad they happened. Listen, I am glad they happened. For me, I call my failures blunders. So at the end of every year, I make a list of my blunders for that year to never repeat it, Dr. Murad, to never repeat those blunders. Blunder number one for me, I'm telling you this, blunder number one. We were doing our event of champions in Toronto. First time we go into downtown Toronto, book the Hilton, amazing hotel. 15 grand alone for the event at the hotel, plus expenses and everything else. We partnered with somebody, also we thought, in Toronto. We said, okay, we had their contract, signed the contract, and all of that. And we're working online, and yeah, we're going to do this event. A month before the event, they pulled out. We had to fill the room from the UK online. Remember LinkedIn? We filled the room using LinkedIn in particular, online and Facebook, online in Toronto. Lesson
Hmm.
for us was don't trust a soul.
Well,
Good lesson. The good lesson for that is if it is to be, it is up to me. It's up to you. You've got to make it happen. When things go down, you still got to make it happen. If it's costing your bottom line, you've got to make it happen regardless. So
yeah.
that was a big failure for us. And we learned a big lesson moving forward for events abroad. The next one, Dr. Murad, was real estate. Now, I love property. I could buy property with my eyes closed, okay? I love it. I don't have to see the property. I can just look at outside and I'm ready to buy. The problem, though, was we were buying this piece of real estate in Trinidad, which is where I'm from. And my brother was linked with it with his friend and blah, blah, blah. So, lesson, don't do business with your brother who doesn't understand business. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I learned
he's
that one before.
he said, come on, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And so we sent money for this guy. My brother was coordinating everything, and we signed the paperwork with the lawyer and everything. And I studied law. I should have known better, but I trusted my brother. And the same lawyer was doing the deal the vendor was doing the deal for us. I should have known better. I studied law, but I trusted my brother. And when we went to Trinidad after sending all that money to buy that land, Dr. Mirren, oh my Lord, there was a house on the land, and the guy sold the land 3 times after that to 3 different people, the same
Wow.
piece of land. Lesson for me there. I have a contract now for the contract. I have a lawyer now for the lawyer. I trust no one. I have everything done so tight with so many different layers that is so legit. I mean, some of you, if you read my LinkedIn profile, I have a PhD. You know what it is in? Bad decisions, not doing it again.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've learned the hard way where that is concerned. So now, whenever we do property, this new deal we're doing, £3 to £5 million deal,
Yeah.
everything is so straight, everything is so strict. And the last issue I would say as an entrepreneur and you getting into entrepreneurship, or even if in entrepreneurship, even if you're on your own job, my last failure was my health. As much as we give more than we should, and we should, we've got to think about our own lives in the process. That failure for me was I worked more than I should.
Yeah.
I gave more than I should. I didn't have time for my mental nor physical health. This was before the pandemic. Okay. And I almost had a timeout. I almost had a timeout. I almost was in a wheelchair. And I had to pull myself back from that and say, no, I have one life. And if something happens, what would I regret? And you know what I like about that video you played earlier? The fact that that lady was able to do her MBA with her family, with her sanity, with her job. It was, I looked at that and it seemed seamless. It's priceless. So for those of you who are thinking about sort of going for it, go for it that way. Do the
Yeah.
degree with the university because you have balance, you have peace. As an entrepreneur, you don't always have that. But doing
Yeah.
it like this is just fantastic. So I almost had a timeout, Dr. Murad, and I had to change my lifestyle, change my mindset. I had to decide what I want and what I did not want in business. And so in the end, I almost gave up all my businesses,
Yeah.
quit everything. And I decided I can't quit. I can't quit because we solve problems and we serve needs. And so I can't quit. And so I said to my husband, go and rent an Aston Martin for the weekend because I just needed a break away from everything. And my husband decided to go to the Aston Martin dealership instead. And they gave us the car for a weekend. And I thought, oh, this is nice. So then I said, well, how do we buy an Aston Martin? And I called my mortgage man and I said, I need 50 grand. I need to buy this car. And he said, okay, yeah, you got money in your properties. You could buy this car. And so we bought an Aston Martin. And that Aston Martin helps me now to go out and do something other than work. Now, I'm not telling everybody to go and buy an Aston Martin, okay? But find something that you can use to live, to have sanity. Take time out for you. Prioritize your life. Prioritize what you're doing. Go for a walk. And if you're doing this degree, listen to what that lady said in that video. It was just so beautiful how she put it. Careful, guys. Careful. What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Remember, it is to solve people's problems and to serve people's needs, but it is also to solve your problem and to serve your need.